and every day. Boxes always pay, 'cause I'll take you to where the sun shines, loading you along with my crew. We'll head into space and ship any place that's cargo. Packed up nice and tight, commerce feels so right, transporting you to where the stars shine, moving you the way that I do. We'll always see it through. Our credit will accrue. My cargo and I will find through.
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
Define
I
fun.
sure as hell did.
Actually, I wasn't live. I wasn't even speaking live. You heard me, but the audience didn't. Hello, welcome to episode 441 of the Roundtable. Let me repeat myself. What's up? Do you have fun? Yes? No? You answered that question. Yeah, we heard that last time. That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you said we weren't live, so they needed to
No,
hear.
I wasn't live. My voice wasn't
Oh,
heard.
so they heard.
You were heard. Yeah, they heard
Ah.
you.
Okay.
Didn't hear me. All right.
Did I hear me?
That depends on you. I don't have control over that.
What?
Would you expect me to do all everything or something?
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Do it.
Fun. Define fun.
Hurricane?
Hurricane is fun. Okay.
Sure.
Oh, really? Okay.
That was fun for me.
I bet.
It was. But in the reference of Star Citizen, what is fun? Are bugs fun?
You're alive though.
Well, in the realm of Star Citizen, we have a lot of fun because they have freaking thrown so much shit at us this week.
But we can handle it because everybody's complaining of
Oh
whinging.
yeah, nobody can handle it.
Apparently, yeah. You want it? Oh, okay.
Oh, this, Jesus.
So yeah. Well, luckily I was in a safe area compared to some of the other people, so I was not heavily impacted. Knock on wood, thank God, and all that kind of crap. But yeah, it definitely did a job on Florida, the Tampa Bay area, north and south of Tampa itself, and Tampa. So
Yeah, it really did a lot more destruction than I expected.
It was so short.
actually, we got lucky because it was a category 3 just as it was about to hit the coast, and it was dying down quickly. So when it actually hit, it was between a 3 and a 2, and the winds were already starting to drop down and stuff like that. But you could still see it was devastating in some places. And then even after that was done, then all the rivers started flooding, which, after the hurricane, and then they're telling everybody stay off the streets, stay in your houses, be ready because the rivers are going to start to overflow. And then they started overflowing, and people that weren't affected by the hurricane got demolished by the rivers. So they're still recovering, and they're going to be recovering for weeks. They're still doing all kinds of stuff, but that was the saddest part right there. Not because of the stadium, but that stadium was if you look at it when you see overhead, all the cots and everything down there, that was for the people that were coming in to help us. That was supposed to
Oh,
be
that was a
their
relief?
place. That was a relief center where all the people that were going to be working on fixing everything were going to be staying there. And they couldn't because the whole ceiling got ripped off. And so all that stuff they couldn't use it. So now they had to find other accommodations and all that other stuff. But let's just say that Tampa Bay area and everybody that was hit by the storm, we were very fortunate compared to Helena, and hope that we don't get hit with another one anytime soon. But let's move on to the happy stuff. Star Citizen.
Happy stuff.
The happy stuff. All right, so we got what? We got
we could go over.
CitizenCon schedule.
Yeah, so
We got PTU.2, right? PTU 4.0.
All right, let's go one at a time then. Let's hit CitizenCon.
Okay.
So it's just about 5.5 days left. Are we getting excited yet? Are we? Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the premiere event.
Read aloud.
Sure.
Seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So they seem to be emphasizing the base building. That seems to be the big thing here. And then obviously there's a section at the end there towards for Squadron 42. What I'm slightly disappointed that it is only a day and a half, because the second day is only a fraction of the first day. But
Yeah, and then there's an event.
yeah, there's Atmos Sports. They seem to be sponsoring a big event, and CIG are plugging it. So yeah, fair play to them for doing that. But it's separate from the CitizenCon event. You have to have a separate ticket.
Yeah,
to get in there.
it's a different venue as well.
So they seem to be showing off the Star Engine again.
Brave new
Hopefully
worlds, including Genesis.
Yep. Okay. So question for you guys, because you guys are kind of sci-fi techish. What's the Easter egg that they just referenced?
Con!
Yes.
There you go. That's my reference.
That's
Where?
the
Only my favorite.
Genesis.
Yeah.
The Genesis.
device.
Oh, the Genesis device.
The Genesis
yeah,
weapon.
Okay. All right.
The Genesis weapon.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did that on purpose or not. I think they
I
probably
say they did. Yeah, makes sense.
Because what did the Genesis do? It rebuilt worlds. So yeah.
It's I'm really looking forward to this because, well, we got a glimpse last year. We don't really know the details, so hopefully we'll start seeing actual details of what really is involved. And hopefully they'll show the different levels from single player outposts to ones that orgs will really like.
Well, go ahead. I really think that this Genesis is going to be a compilation of a couple of things, right? Because this is basically you notice the last sentence, right? Achieving the fidelity and scale required to fill an entire universe, right? So we know that their planet building tech is gone to 5.0, right? And I think that what they did was, yeah, they said it's at 5.0 now. What I think they also did, remember long time ago, and I said that this would be the smart way to do it, is they had that tool where they would actually build out the solar systems, right? The planets, and it was basically a folder structure, and the planet and where it was in the orbit and this, that, and the other thing. And they could build out the entire universe in that one tool. And if they incorporate that tool with the planet building and all that other stuff, they could rip out tons of planets with biodomes right? Ready to go. Right?
Well, they'll
And
they'll
that
have to
can,
do. Well, they have to do something like this because,
yeah.
there's hundreds of systems and thousands of worlds. So,
Yep.
yeah, they
And
need
then so
something
if
that
you
makes it
if you
loaded.
can combine it, right? Because they always talk about systematic, right? We got to do everything systematic, right? So if they had that tool and they have the 5.0 where it'll populate the whole planet with biodomes and all that other stuff and create unique, right?
Mm.
Now, I'm not going to say that it's going to create the perfect world every time. They probably are going to have to do some Q&A on all of that stuff afterwards, to see, is this good? Is it not good? That kind of stuff. But they could literally build out solar systems. They could have all the solar systems built out for all we know. And then as they decide which path they want to open up for us, because what did they send a video on? What was it, TikTok or Z or X or whatever, where they were saying
See.
exploring, right? The exploring new worlds or whatever. They probably already have several systems ready to go.
I mean, this thing.
Oh, that? No, I thought that was just the acid caves.
No, not that one. The other one. The one where they show the constellation going to a jump point that everybody says, oh, it's Nyx. That one.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Why would they say that? I don't.
Because the
Well,
center of it
everybody.
is colored different.
Well, the
E-
color is
each-
different, but it doesn't show you any. There's no references
Yeah.
that show you. There's a bunch of space stations around or anything. It could be they're talking about finding new
I don't know where
systems
that
with
is.
new.
Scroll down. It's in there somewhere. No.
Right.
If it's not, it's probably on their Instagram account.
Oh, yeah, I think that's where it was. It was Instagram.
I remember seeing.
I hate the way they do this. They stick one thing on X and then the other one.
Well,
on
they
on
want all of
Instagram.
them to basically that
This.
one, right? So there's no landmarks of any kind, obviously, so you can't tell. They just assume it's Nyx because it's a lighter color jump point. If you went to 4.0, you'll notice that it just looks like the 4.0, the pyro, with the exception of the reddish in the background kind of thing. So it's like you can't really tell.
It's changed. What it used to be was you saw the far side through the wormhole here, and so you saw the coloring of the far side. But this no longer works like that. So what I seen in 4.0 testing there a couple of days ago was that the coloring on this side reflects the coloring in this star system, and then when you get about halfway, then you see the color change to an orange color, which is the coloring of pyro. So unfortunately, that no longer applies. So I think Innovis is right in this one.
It's just the Stanton side. Yeah, we don't know.
I think basically what they're saying is be ready for 4.0 and maybe even more systems, right? Because we've all said it. We've been saying it for I don't know how long. Nyx is Nyx because Nyx is like kind of pre-done. They just have to get it up to speed with the new tech.
Yeah.
So
I honestly hope it is done. I don't think it's unreasonable to say that, to expect it to be done. I don't want to hear Mr. Roberts say, well, we're going to give you Nyx and we're going to give you maybe 6 to 18 months because it's not done yet. And I'm like, you had what I'm not going to say, what have you guys been doing all this time? But at the same time, I guess I am saying it.
Well, the thing we know Nyx is kind of not an abandoned system, but there's not much there.
Right.
But that they like to put more than nothing into a system. So it's not just going to be Nyx on a rock.
I get
They're
that.
probably going to put, asteroid bases, right? Some bad guys, pirates, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's where Levski is. Levski is in Nyx, so.
Well, yeah, but that's what I meant. Levski, they're not going to just put Levski on its rock and be done with it.
mean,
they're gonna build more into it.
yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say in this, I expect all quote unquote all that to be like 98% done. You
Yep.
know, I really don't. I'm not looking forward to hearing to say, oh, well, like I said, it takes another, this time next year to give us Knicks.
That's
No.
what Shady thinks.
It's going to be a continuous development, Star Citizen. It's Squadron 42 we need to keep our eye on right now.
Oh,
But
yeah,
this is the
I agree.
point of Genesis. This is the whole thing about Genesis. They need to speed it up, and they need to have some tech that's established to help them speed it up, because it will be another 10 years just rolling out the 100 star systems, and
Yep.
obviously we can't wait that long. So this is one of the reasons why I'm eager for it, to see have they done that, and is it achievable in the next couple of years? It has to be in the next couple of years, not 5 years time.
Yeah. Well, here's a theory. I think we've all agreed upon this theory before. I don't know, but we know that in Squadron 42 there are certain places that are already pre-built that you're going to visit.
Yeah.
Now, they may not be exactly the same because there is supposed to be a time difference. But if people are going to be in Squadron 42 and visit these places, they are going to want to visit it in Star Citizen. It makes sense to build out all the systems between Stanton to those locations, so that when they are ready to, start opening up more systems, that they already have pathways for us to be able to go and see these places that we got to visit while we were in Squadron 42.
Other than Odin, do we know what systems are in the first portion of Squadron 42?
Vega. I do believe the first place we go to is Vega. We are, I think, there in the battle when the Vandal attack Vega, or Vega 2 or Vega 3. So we're in that Javelin ship with, what's her name? I'm always forgetting her name.
McLaren?
Captain McLaren, yes. That's
The
where
Javelin got destroyed, though, right? She's dead.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
think.
We don't know. We don't know what happens to her. But what we do witness is, we saw the beginning where they introduced the character changes. They zoom into the window and there's you writing a letter, and then the captain comes and sees you. We also see segments of you EVAing out with the ship, and you can see wreckage everywhere. So, but that's all in the Vega system. And then after that, you're transferred over to the Idris, where you have Liam Cunningham as your captain, and that's where you spend most of your time. And you go to, I think, Odin to investigate the ODC pirating. So this is the mining base where all around, and you investigate something that's not quite right about the whole thing, particularly the relationship between him and OCD or ODC or whatever.
Realm, that we have to mention that particular scene in the demo we got last year. Random thing, that motif that they did while they were writing those letters, I hate that motif. I think it's dumb. Sorry,
but they were just trying to show you the different possibilities of character creation.
No.
That was a sales pitch.
No, it's a music piece behind them writing the letter that I don't like.
Oh, okay.
I think it's cheap. I think it's elementary, and I think they could have done better. But that's my opinion.
Okay.
Anyway.
So in that first segment that we get in CitizenCon, do we anticipate them telling us that Nyx is next, or any other systems that we may be getting down the line?
They could. If they're introducing the Genesis system, it's quite possible they might say, by the way, we have Nyx ready and we'll be launching at the same time as Pyro. Who knows?
I want to say yes.
It would be
think-
very
Do you
nice.
think?
if
Do you
they
think
did
it'll
that.
just be Nix, or do you think they're going to tell us we have, like five more systems that we're going to be opening up? or
Now
something?
that would be the surprise element.
Well, like Nix will be a surprise, but it could be Magnus. Magnus is only two
I-
planetary system. There's not much in there, but it is
I
HQ
would-
of Drake, so it
I would
might be.
disagree. Nix would not be a surprise if they say we have more planets and more systems other than Nix. That is the surprise.
No, I've learned myself to
Terra.
always downgrade my expectations regarding this game.
They have Terra already.
Yeah.
You can visit Terra Prime.
Well, Terra Prime is a major asset, and
Yeah.
I don't see them flushing it out anywhere.
No.
Anytime
Well, they
soon.
were working on that from day one almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the
you
work
never
can
know.
scrap all that work.
That could all be still there, ready to go. Just they don't give it to us because they want it for Squadron 42.
Yeah, but those are the
No,
three
I think
systems connected to
And it-
Stanton and Pyro.
Yeah, and
Magnus,
it's one.
Terra.
It's only one jump away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, Oh, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
You pick
and
one
put
connected
those-
to Pyro as well.
Keep your hopes low, people. Nix is
Yeah.
the only thing to expect.
Yeah.
But
I
it makes
agree.
sense if they did the systems that come off Stanton, because as I said this before, Pyro, Magnus, and Terra are all actually linked to each other as well as Stanton. So you have a little triangle of a mini system that you can all go to each other.
Oh
So it
yeah,
kinda
that
makes
would work out nice.
if you
Yeah.
start off as a nucleus and then you expand out from there.
That actually helps with the economy and how each one of those systems impact each other, and would definitely take us into economy 2.3, 0.10, whatever we're at. 1.0.
So,
Who knows?
we can dream, but we need to dial back our expectations. This is Star Citizen we're talking about here. So
Mhm.
next one is a social universe. Now, I'm not really sure what the hell this is.
Orgs.
Ugh,
It's the
please.
people you meet and the bonds you form from that
the
truly bring the verse to
long-awaited-
life.
Or 2.0.
With evolving
From-
social features to maximize your adventures. Yeah, so it's just,
Orgs.
Yeah,
From over
Is
half a
Orgs-
decade ago.
Tools to help you, friends lists. Well, we already have friends lists, but they're pretty poor. Any kind of thing that you would
yeah, but
find
ship
in a normal
co-ownership of ships and
sharing of ships. Yeah.
I would hope so, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
I don't know.
Maybe-
I'm negative about this. This seems to be some stupid bloody social media crap. I'm just have a bad feeling.
you mean like watch them reveal a
maybe-
freaking Spectrum app on your phone?
Maybe
Yeah.
the assignment.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, you all have
I'm
phones,
going to
right?
stay positive.
You've all got
maybe
phones.
it's sharing the control panels, the operations on the different control panels and stuff like that.
I don't
Mhm.
know. Yeah,
They
I
will
don't know.
reveal a mini game for iOS and Android.
Yeah, I'm hoping wrong, but I
No.
don't know. This seems like to me a gap filler, and this is
That's an awfully big gap filler. 1 to
What?
2.5
245.
hours.
no. It's just there'd be a break between each one. It
Well,
won't
yeah,
be
but
that
still,
long.
that's a pretty big one. I have a funny feeling that one is going to be.
Well, I hope I'm wrong. Yeah, but I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm not going to be optimistic in that one. Okay, so cosplay again. That was
Yep.
interesting last
Thank
year.
you, Careless. Next.
No, I actually like.
You
the
got to
effort
give
put in.
them credit.
Yeah, some of them are really good.
Hey, I'm not, hey, people put their time and money, effort. Hey, wonderful, great. But I'm like, okay, that's nice.
That's where
I'll go visit
you're
the
going to
booth.
go grab a soda, take a poop, and
Yeah,
all that other
I go,
stuff.
yeah, use
Yeah,
the bathroom and stuff like
Make a
that.
bit sandwich there, not yeah. Get your dinner
Yeah.
ready,
For 2 hours.
And that is followed by our version of cosplay, which is called Dress to Kill.
So is this just really going to show the next iteration of
Yeah.
custom characterization?
Well, we saw it last year, right?
Yeah,
Where they
and they
showed
revealed
that
the
one guy
pouches
with like
thing.
20 pouches,
And they
which
never.
was like absolutely stupid and stuff. But I think
Shady.
they're going to show us the next
I see
the
what
next
Shady said.
iteration. What do you say? Calling it
Mark
now, Mark
Hamill.
Hamill. I think would be in cosplay. Oh, I like that.
With a
He's
mask.
gonna come out, take the helmet off, and it's gonna be him.
No,
That
it
would be
can't.
cool.
It
He's gonna
can't
try and
because-
outdo Mark. He's gonna try and outdo Robbie Downey Jr. Is that what he's gonna do?
If they're going to wheel him out, it'll have to be the last section, which we'll come up to. They won't spoil it until then. But like, how you think are they going to show us beyond what we now have in the PTU?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Well, what do you think
Absolutely.
it's going to be? Like,
I think they're actually going to. I mean, we know that we've asked for clothing where we can actually put stuff in it, clothing that we can put our weapons on and stuff like that. So I think they've been working on getting that to happen without that cheap
mix
of
and
a
match.
invisible undersuit.
mhm.
So hopefully they're working on that where it's like you can kind of mix and match a little bit. The armor, I'm not too sure about the mixing and matching with armor because, I mean, armor is supposed to work a certain way, clothes work another way. I mean, now if you have the armor suit and you put a trench coat over it, that I kind of okay with, right? But not where it's like you don't wear an undersuit, you wear a pair of pants and then you wear a big armor chest plate. Don't go into space because it's not going to work,
Yeah. But
that
I'm.
kind of.
Go on, sorry.
No.
I'm really expecting, as Shady says, layering. Layering is a thing that we need to have, and what I mean by that is also not simply clothing, but also jewelry and other things like a gun belt going across or something like that. These kind of extras, which then, like you can have tattoos on your body, why not have something for armor? You can put this
I do know at least a couple women's groups that would be very, very happy to see more ladies' clothing. It would be nice if they could premiere some of that.
Oh yeah,
dresses.
Well, yeah, just throw them all out and let everybody play with them. So it's not just.
Well, that's what they do. All the clothing
hot pants.
is unisex. So
yeah.
I'm sure if you put a dress out there, a guy will put it on a male character, which is fine. But I think they will put in more female friendly attire, but it will be unisex in that anybody will actually be able to put it on because they don't want to go down that road of cyberpunk and all those other people where it's like, well, I didn't do the whole binary, non-binary, and all that other crap.
Have you read the description?
I'd like to see. I like to see more things like specs and for clothes and armor, and also the deterioration of these items, since we know it's going to be the thing, especially for weapons, and then we know it's there for ships. So we should see it in clothing and armor as well. I hope they give us a peek of that. But I think what I find interesting is the last part. A legendary friend from Star Citizen's Past. So what does that
I don't know.
What was it? I'm sorry, I got distracted.
So the last section says, and a take on challenges ahead, including the return of a legendary friend from Star Citizen's Past.
Oh, that would be
CitizenCon.
Cleary. Mike Cleary.
Okay. What
CitizenCon's?
No,
he's IAE. No, he's IAE, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he's been gone forever. I mean, people still wonder if he's dead or alive or whatever.
Maybe it's Tony Z.
Oh yeah, that could be.
What does that have to do with dressing?
He is a legendary friend of CitizenCon.
I'm only kidding. We've been asking for the past couple of weeks, where the hell is he?
That's probably Tony Z. I think you're right.
Yeah, I have no clue what that's about. So we can speculate, but we have no idea.
Maybe Jeremiah Lee is back.
Maybe. Who knows? Any guess is a good guess. Because there's actually no.
He says it too. I didn't even read your comment.
Yeah, I have no clue who that is. Anyway, beyond Pyro. Okay, well, this might then go
But
into
that might
detail
be
what we talked about earlier on.
what we talked about it in the first one.
Yeah.
Where are we going? What are they opening up for us? So the
Beyond
first one is
Stanton.
what are they making or how they make it. Then Beyond Pyro is like, okay, so what are the next big changes? Is it just no, it's systems.
Yeah.
Yep.
So maybe we should have paid attention to that first. Yeah, I think what we said earlier on, this is where it will go. Hopefully, and hopefully they'll give us some kind of idea of where they're going to go beyond, say, the initial systems that's connected to Stanton. Will they go a certain direction? Like they'll probably head to Vega because they've already got that ball
And how
rolling.
fast can they finish him?
Yeah. Then you have to head the other
Mhm.
way towards beyond Terra, and then south towards the Banu territory, and then west towards Earth.
Now, let's not get crazy, right?
you know,
We'll be lucky if we can get the 3 that we
I
talked
want them
about.
all.
4. We'll be lucky if we get the 4. Nyx.
Yeah.
Oh, we already get Pyro. I included Pyro by mistake. So Nyx, Terra, and Drakeland, whatever the fuck that was.
What you call it? Magnus.
Magnus.
Hmm.
Now, we'll be lucky if we get those 3.
Well, see, Magnus leads to Earth, so it's important to get that step rolling. Ellis is the HQ of
Magnus to Earth?
the UEE.
Ellis. I went to Ellis on
Oh, no, it's Killian, sorry,
Spectrum
Killian.
map. Ellis is
huge.
It's
It's
a lot of
huge.
work.
Yeah.
That one's going to take at least
14 planets. I haven't even said
3
them.
years to get done, or something like that.
It's
3-4
massive.
years to get done.
Killian is the HQ of the UE Navy, and then that eventually leaves to Earth. Ellis is also important because it brings you south towards Nexus, which is an important point that brings you to the southern part of the map here.
The alien systems. Nemo, 80s.
Because we need to push towards the Vandal on the left-hand side here. So that could be done through Vega. So if you see Vega there, that's a natural progression.
They have to do something because Operation Pitchfork is kind of at a standstill until they give us a fucking system with Vega.
Bremen is an important UEE Navy port as well. So I'm actually expecting that in Squadron 42. I expect you'll probably be dropped off there, and then you go off somewhere else. But you see, it's only one stop away from Nyx.
Odin.
So, and there's Odin up there. So this is why Nyx is important, and I believe it's almost done.
Yeah, so we could definitely go to Nyx to Odin.
Mm.
And then where is it? Is Brennan is between that and Vega?
No, Bremen's between that and Nyx. So yeah,
Vega.
That and Vega. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So if they wanted to give us access to Vega, they would have to get Britain done.
Well, it makes sense because let's say you start in Vega and then, of course, you lose and you have to be transferred to somewhere else. You're rescued and you're transferred somewhere else. Bremen will be the natural location for that. And then you meet your new ship and you go off and do your adventures in Odin. So I think Bremen is I think it's in the game. I expect it to be in there. And then, of course, if we go back to Stanton, we have the all-important Terra. Now, that has to be very detailed. So I don't really see it coming soon.
It's supposed to be a beautiful place, but I mean, it's probably just one major city as big as freaking.
But it has to be detailed. It has to be quite detailed,
Oh yeah,
but it is the gateway to the right side of the map, which is where the Xion are. I do, as I said, I expect Magnus, I expect Nyx, and I pray that Terra is done secretly.
And to Shady's point about they have to do a good job with Soul because we know the system. We know the system how it is now, not in 900 years.
Yeah, exactly.
They did say it's going to be different. It's going to be different.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll throw. They can get away with it. They can say that the sea level rose so much that we won't
Comet
recognize
impact.
it. So, or do something that they can get it
Pollution.
close, but
Make it look like one of the stations in
Just
Pyro.
copy Flight Simulator's homework.
So that's why you're trying to show that off.
Uh-huh. Well, no, I show
Um,
that up because they have a very because you were talking about Planet Tech and the
Well,
Flight
see,
Simulator
they-
went really beyond a lot
Well,
of.
see, they had advantage because they have already detailed
It's real life.
satellite imaging. So, so CAG don't have that luxury.
Yeah, but still
and
building
because-
all of that, technically building all of that into an engine so that you can stream it in, which, by the way, is all being done from a server. Your local client with this new version of Flight Simulator, your local client is only very small in terms of installation size. The rest is all streamed in from the servers because there's no way you can save the entire planet in your memory or on your hard drive.
Just to go back to Shady's there, he's talking about Terra Prime. So yeah, it has 2 cities, but one is major and quite detailed. But there are 4 super Earths, and each one of them is populated, and they have to be detailed as well. So it's not an easy system to do. I think I consider that and the Sol system to be.
I disagree, because they can just as easily do the same shit they did with Area 18.
Well, that's
And just have it have the city and Lorville for that matter. You have the big city areas, the blocks and all that stuff. You can fly around and stuff, but you can't really engage with any of it except for where the landing zones are and where they want you to go. So they don't have to build it where you can go into every building and do everything. They can build another Lorville or a portion of ArcCorp and make it and put it on Terra. So they can do that. It doesn't have to be anything super. They change the textures and they have a new city, so they can do that. I think you're projecting more than what it really needs to get done.
Well, I'm only going by what they originally portrayed this as, and they were trying to go for detailed city.
Well, it is going to be a detailed city because you saw how detailed Lorville is and ArcCorp is.
It's not really.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty detailed. You can't go inside stuff, but I guarantee you that picture right there of Terra, you ain't going in all those buildings. They're going to be just like they are.
Even around it, in say an Area 18, it's only a small place.
Yeah.
It really is only quite narrow.
Yeah, and I
and then you
expect
have
the same
entire
thing.
planet, which all you have is the rooftops of buildings.
And I expect that to be exactly what we're going to get at Terra and any other major planet, is just a bunch
for
of.
now.
Yeah, because they did say that they do want to build out the insides of some of these buildings and make them grow out. But a lot of that is going to be obviously mission dependent, right? And what's really is population dependent, right? If we don't have enough players, right, to populate a lot of these places, you may only need to fill out one building, because that's how many people want to live on that planet and call it home. Instead of doing like 20 buildings and just have it sit empty because nobody's there, or we don't have the volume of players. We got to be realistic about it. It's like, this is our dream game. This is we are projecting a lot of stuff that could happen. I have no doubt of it, and that they could do, but a lot of it's going to come down to how successful is Star Citizen going to be, and how many people is it going to bring in to facilitate having to do those things.
That depends on Squadron 42.
And don't listen to Trade Mogul. Buy more ships.
Funny. Anyway, back to the schedule.
You lost it. Oh, gotta go find it again. Hang on. There it is.
First was just redacted.
So redacted. So
Squadron 42.
Yeah, so we can see the UEE and the hazard line, which is a thing that's seen in Squadron quite a lot in their images. So this is quite obviously a Squadron 42.
I say
Um,
they're going to give us a date.
So this
Live
is
demo.
where I think, is it possible that Mark Hamill might appear or somebody else?
Well,
Has any-
so
In Manchester.
go ahead.
Has anyone been keeping track of anybody's social media? If
Yes.
any
No.
clues?
Well, the composers are seem to be quite active lately about it.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, I'm
something
talk-
I've
Even Mark Hamill has been referring
Yeah.
to it a lot lately.
something I
So-
found out. I don't remember where I found it, but something that they've done in the past is when you do things like this, you usually have at least one engagement in the contract, right? Where it's like they are obligated as part of their contract to participate in one thing, right?
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
the court, so Mark Hamill's already been the one, and so has Miles Davies. They made their appearances either via
John Rhys Davies, Miles
John
Davies.
John
Miles
Rhys
Davies.
either I don't
Like, wait,
you know,
what?
whatever through
John Reese Davis.
through
The biggest grave
either
and bring
in
him out.
person or webcast, right?
Mhm.
So the thing is, it's like, how many do they have? I would assume some of these other actors only have one appearance, right? Mark
Well,
Hamill, he might do more than one because, I mean, Chris Roberts kept his career afloat, after
yeah.
Star Wars.
Well, he made
So
him money.
he's-
Oh yeah, he
yeah.
made more out of
Oh,
Wing
yeah.
Commander than
So he
Star
might
Wars.
be more likely to do more appearances than anybody
Mhm.
else.
Mm.
But I would think they would probably save all of the celebs for an actual release date event,
Mm.
right? They would probably do Squadron 42 release date, CitizenCon. So let's say next year, right? Let's say, okay, we're releasing it next year at CitizenCon. So they would have CitizenCon, they would have an after events banquet with all the celebrities that were part of it, that kind of shit,
You mean
they
Oh,
would
no.
actually go and they would probably walk up on stage like they do with like the Marvel presentations, and they would talk to everybody from the stage and this, that, the other thing or whatever, and then be done with it.
you talking about going back to LA possibly? No.
Well, I mean,
No.
half of the actors are all British.
Yeah.
They probably they live in the UK. So whether or not they're actually going to do it over there again or bring it to California, who knows? I mean, I'm probably wrong. I'm going to say that right now.
No, you'll be right. I think mostly. I think you would be right there, but they might still wheel out one or two.
But I would not be surprised if Mark Hamill would do multiple appearances and could very well be at this CitizenCon.
Maybe he'd be good for promotion, and I think, as you said,
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. That's why I'm watching
Absolutely.
his Twitter.
So yeah, he'd be the one to roll it. If you can get him, that'd be the best. If you can guess the likes of Gary Oldman, wow, what bonus on top of that. But I don't know if Gary Oldman would do something like that.
Again, it depends on the contracts.
But you have a great choice. Mark Strong, Jonathan Rhys Davies, again a good friend of him with Wing Commander. Liam Cunningham. You can bring them, Ben Mendelsohn. You can bring them all out because they're all UK based. So
That's true. And
Can you imagine bringing them all out into one event and have them walk up on a stage and take the mic like they do with the Marvel presentations?
They're over there and we're over here. That's the only problem.
Well, you can't have everything in life, unfortunately.
Well, we could. However, the two people closest to the event, Anavis, refused to go because it's Britain.
No, because of Britain.
Oh, okay, sure.
It's a better thing
But
to be doing.
anyway, I'll lay that issue aside for now and cuss her out off the air.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you do that.
So anyway,
Next time.
redacted
Next time.
Squadron 42.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just a
Yeah,
matter
next-
of how much of it's going to be, and how much of it's going to be other stuff. I suspect they'll be doing other stuff along with it, like I don't know, introductions, like floor, like I'm going to walk the floor. I'm going to talk to this schmuck over here, talk to this schmuck on this table over there. You know they're going to do that. They did it last year.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Do you think they're going to give us a vertical slice?
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
If
Do you think they're
something.
going to give us? Do you think they're going to give us the same one they did before, but in final version, or
I
give
would
us a
hope
new
not.
one altogether?
Well, for all we know,
They don't want to ruin
says,
it.
Well, you can ruin, say, the first half of the first level. That's always been the thing with games. So
I don't know. The first
that could
half of
be
the
a thing.
first level is probably getting blown up and surviving. So
Yeah,
I don't know
well,
if I want them to give that away.
what they've already given it away. They've already
Well,
shown
they
us.
didn't show you how to survive. Now, if they run through it, they show you how to survive. Maybe they'll do that for all the newbies.
Who
Show them
knows?
how to live.
We don't know. We it could be just simply a date. So, but
And then the
yeah,
venue
I do
closes.
expect- yeah. Get out.
Every out next day.
Next day, crafting your home. So
Now, that's the all important
Homestead.
one.
Oh my god.
yeah,
Talk
for
about saving the
Star
best
Citizen
for
players,
last.
this will probably be the most important day.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second day is probably, apart from the Squadron 42 release date, is probably the most important day of all of them.
So everything seems to be based around base building here. Yeah, it's just simply providing more details on what exactly is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Even though you said they said it's going to be 5.0, I don't know. It just seems a bit too much to have it that far away.
What? This?
Well,
The home crafting thing?
yeah.
No, I think that's going to start coming out next year, first thing. Guarantee it.
I would agree.
If Chris Rhodes makes the same half-assed promise, like everything you're seeing this year will be in the game in some form before next CitizenCon.
Well, we got almost all of that stuff.
Well,
right? The crafting, they said, the crafting and the home building and stuff, they said they were going to start first of the
developing
year.
this year.
They did
I know
not
that
give
doesn't
us
count.
a
I know.
date.
But even
right?
all the rest of the other stuff is kind of.
But it's mostly all there. It's mostly all there. I mean, the large portion. I mean, obviously, a lot of it was, well, again, obviously there were some delays because of technical hurdles and stuff like that, but we're almost got everything. So the fact that they're this close, if you looked at the roadmap, you would see that they have a lot of, if they met the timelines, you will see most of that stuff's been hit. Crafting is supposed to carry over into the new year, but they're emphasizing the homes, the settlements, the base buildings and stuff. The Argo, what we consider to be the Argo sneak peek, could be the vehicle, for the tier 2 items that they talked about in the presentation.
The CSV, I think it is. Yeah.
Right, those could be the vehicles that we would be using for actually building the tier 1s and the tier 2.
That's what it says,
stuff.
Right?
So is your primary tool for base building.
Yeah, because we're not going to get tier 3 and tier 4, because tier 3 we have to wait for the Galaxy, right, which I don't think they started building yet, right? And well, they said they were going to do it after they did the Polaris. So the Polaris isn't out yet, so do we know if they started or not? No idea. But we'll assume that they haven't. So we have to wait for that before we can get the tier 3 stuff. And then we know tier 4 is the Pioneer, right? And I'm pretty sure that's where category 2 comes in, captains of industry or whatever, where they're going to base building in the verse, revisit a classic and more. That classic is probably going to be a redesign of the Pioneer.
Pioneer.
Can I just pause you there? Just want to answer a question that Shady brought up. So he brought up building space stations too, maybe. Now,
No.
I remember CAG talking about this a while back, and they said they weren't keen on doing this, but they were keen on giving you things like shops that you could rent out. But to actually have an entire space station, I don't think they're keen on that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to give us stations, because stations, they're really, really big, and they're really in, you kind of have to like put them in space and take up that space.
Yeah, but I would say not in the foreseeable future. I wouldn't put that to rest completely. Who knows how long this game is going to last? As long as it lasts as long as Eve, then yeah, I think it is a possibility that they will give us some form of a space station. I'm not saying, like a Port Olisar or something like that.
I would love to get a one of the original rest and relaxations R&R places.
Exactly.
Or
why not that?
Something like
That makes sense.
what is it, Jericho? Something like Jericho.
Exactly.
Or even the asteroid hangar, something like that.
Well, they did hint that we will get our asteroid hangars.
Yeah.
Well, let me rephrase. They did hint that they were going to talk about us having Astros hangars in CitizenCon.
But I think they have to have something like a space station or an outpost like that, because there's going to be some star systems which are pretty large, and there's going to be huge gaps of nothing. And so one way you can fill it
but that's
is
that's what the Banu Merchantman and the Kraken can be.
It can be, but you'd still like some kind of base.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then, as I said, some of the systems are so bloody large, it's going to be quite difficult to. Well, I wouldn't say find it. You'll always get somebody who say, "Oh yeah, it's coordinates," but
the question is, what's the benefit, right? Because in a space station, right, you're expending resources and you're not generating any. Where if you have a base on a planet, you can generate resources. So having a space station is more of a drain than anything else.
It is a drain.
It's a full drain. It's like there's apart from just hiding in a place where you think you won't be found. And I'll tell you, from experience playing Star Citizen, doesn't matter where you think you've been and you say there's nobody ever been here. You usually end up saying, "Oh man, I love this place. Nobody's been here," and then all of a sudden there's somebody that just shows up. It's like, how the fuck? So they'll find your base. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah.
But that's the whole point. If you have a base, then you need an org to run it, maintain it, and secure it. And so that will be a constant, ongoing event. And orgs would absolutely love that. So I hope that they do something like space stations or some kind of asteroid thing. But yeah, I can't see it in the foreseeable future, unfortunately.
Yeah, foreseeable future, no. No. But ever, no, never, no. Don't say that. Because we don't know.
We don't know. Anyway, captains of industry, ships, ground vehicles.
So the redesign of the Pioneer to accommodate the new changes that they did to the base building.
Okay, you think they're going to reveal that? All right.
They're just going to show us the redesign. I don't think it's going to be done. Same thing with the Galaxy. I don't think either of those are going to be done. I think they're going to introduce the what do you call it? The new salvaging ship, the medium large salvaging ship. And the reason why they're going to be doing that is because you need resources.
Yeah.
Right. You're going to need construction material. You're going to need recycled material, as well as your typical mining stuff. iron and this, that, and the other thing, right? You to build things. So most people have a vulture. Not
How
most
about
people have a reclaimer.
this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be another important element of it, the whole refinery.
A
So
restaurant.
as an org, you want to do everything yourself. So you want to mine, you want to refine it, and then use the resources yourself to make something.
Yep.
So that's what all these ships really come into play. And we're just missing a couple of large to capital vehicles.
I mean, having the Arresta would be helpful in that because you can mine and refine as you're going along. Whereas right now, you would just have to take all of your mining stuff to a refinery and then just use a cargo hauler to take it to your base.
Yeah.
Until they build the Arresta.
And there's the other, what's the medium refiner? The one that came out before, the MISC ship.
That's the
you tell me.
Expanse.
The Expanse, yeah.
The Expanse.
Again, we've received no detail ever since the concept about this, but this is an important ship. So if let's say you have a ton of prospectors in an org and they're at a mining head and they're chopping away, you want this vehicle immediately behind them. This is the ship to have to, because you want to process it yourself rather than going to a station, because then you have a much more valuable product. Of course, it's more risks, so you have to have security around because it's a more valuable product. But yeah, this is a very important ship, and hopefully they'll give us a bit more detail about this soon.
Yeah, the problem is the logistics of those fucking bags.
Those bags, yeah.
What they're a pain in the ass to deal with right now, with just the prospector and the mole, you know. So I can only imagine trying to ferry them between your ship and another ship and making sure that, you know, you don't lose a bag somewhere in the mix or get them confused, you know, all that crap. And then I think even the Starfarer should be able to collect something off of these bags for the Quantanium, because they're supposed to be able to also refine Quantanium for fuel.
Well, again, as I said, these should be at the heads, the mining heads, or near it. And then you should have a dedicated cargo ship to actually move these elsewhere, rather than having this ship moving from A to a base or something like that.
That picture right there, right? Okay, so they have the Expanse already has the containers on there. It's grabbing a container off of the prospector to bring it in to refine, and then it dumps it into these bags, I'm assuming, instead of actually dropping them into containers like we normally have. So that doesn't make sense to me, right? So then you got to take these containers, take them off and put them into a cargo ship and then replace those. And I guess you would just take the regular containers off the prospector and just put them back on after you empty them.
Yeah.
No, you can refine them on site here with this thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but this should not move, this vehicle. You should have a dedicated cargo ship for moving those containers to refine stuff somewhere else.
That makes sense, yes.
They're just basically a portable refinery, and they should not be transporting, I think, unless you're on your own or something like that. You want to be an independent trader. But for Norg's sake, there should be layers. You have people mining, you have people refining, and then you have to transport, then moving the stuff too.
Yep. Oh, and Shady did point out that the Galaxy also has a refinery module.
That's right, it does. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So we have 3, well, maybe even 4 ships that do refinery, right? 5. Starfarer,
Galaxy.
We don't know. It's supposed to do.
It should be one of the modules.
This thing.
We have. The Galaxy
the
has a module, right? It has 2 refineries in it. The Expanse has what? 5, 6 refineries, and the Arresta has 2 or 3 refineries.
Here you go. Yeah. But I'm not sure how effective this would be.
Well,
Because it's
depends.
yeah, we don't know really, but it's because it's a multi-role ship. I don't know if it's dedicated than other ships.
Well, it has two refineries, right? So if
Yeah.
you have an operation that doesn't need a lot of refineries, that might work. It also has a lot of cargo capacity, so you can probably do more with this than you can with, let's say, the Expanse. But the
Is that-
Expanse has multiple refineries. What is it? 4, 5, 6?
Yeah,
Is it okay?
it-
So
So it can
what-
do
what-
more types.
Right. So what's just the in-game refinery ship? Is that the Expanse?
Yeah.
Okay.
or
And
the
Galaxy
Galaxy here. Yeah.
is
Um,
mid-range.
Well, the
Mm,
Galaxy has 2 large.
yeah.
The
It's
Expanse
probably
has
like 6 small or
Excuse me.
something, isn't there?
6 small.
Yeah.
The Odyssey has 1 that is just for refuel, for it refuels itself, Quantanium. And then you
So-
have the Arastra.
So we have to understand that this really is more aimed at mining on a planet rather than out in space.
No,
So
but mining in general.
Well, you can apply that, but the homestead, the whole idea of, sorry, not the homestead, the whole idea of these outposts is that you have some kind of money maker nearby, and that you have these things processing and making ore, but you want to refine the ore. So this is where you'll need these ships to land, and you then transfer your ore to these ships to refine. I'm not sure. Are they going to give us a refining module out on these outposts? They probably will.
Maybe a tier 5.
Maybe.
4, I mean, tier
You
4 or
know.
something like that, yeah.
But
So maybe not right away.
But it has to be some. I think we're going to see proper ground mining apart from the stupid rock, which is really small and pittance, and I don't think it works really well. But we haven't seen any kind of large scale mining on the ground. So hopefully
Patches out.
Go ahead, play it.
I'm just saying they just dropped the patch.
What, 24, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of patches, nice segue. Oh no, we're not done yet.
No, we're not done yet.
No.
You were too late.
So what chips are we expecting, since we know?
You're going to have a couple of new ones as well, though, right?
Well, they've talked about the Crusader starter.
Okay, I'm not expecting that.
I
I'm
am.
expecting that in the IAE. That's more IAE thing, I think.
It's the same
No,
with,
because the IE is going to
Orion.
have Polaris, even though it's a resale. They're also going to have all of the F7 Mark IIs,
Yeah. Well,
right? So
maybe.
that's 3
not
of
new, though.
those. They're new to people that don't have a Mark 7 Mark II. And I
Yeah,
guarantee you that everybody that has the Mark 1s will probably melt theirs to get the Mark II variant. They also we also have the Mirai Guardian.
Yeah, the Fat Fury, as Shady says. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that the starter ship is going to be part of CitizenCon.
No, I think it's definitely something you present at IAE, since that's the big buying event. Because there's actually, if you go in the past Star Citizen or CitizenCon, they don't really sell too many ships, believe it or not.
Right, but IAE, it gives you access to all the ships.
Well, we don't know when we're
Right.
going to get them. So
They give you access to be able to buy all the ships in one shape or another, even if maybe it's under a limited quantity, but they give you access to all of the ships. Why would you introduce a new ship when you can introduce it at CitizenCon and just have people buy it all there?
Well, there will be a couple of new ships, but I don't know. To me, it just seems makes sense to have a starter ship at IAE. Maybe the Fat Fury will pop up. Maybe they'll deliberately held that back because it's one of the worst kept secrets in Star Citizen, and they'll just probably drag that on because they can sell that at any time. It doesn't have to be CitizenCon or IAE. They could drop that in January for As for the F7 Mark IIs, I don't know. I suppose they're all appearing in the game file, so it kind of does indicate that they're coming up. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if CG holds that off till Invictus, since they're all military vehicles.
No,
Makes sense
no,
then.
No, they're not going to hold that till Invictus.
And then we got the ground vehicles. We mentioned the CSV, which really we're not really sure about that.
Again, I think those are more in line with CitizenCon because of the topics than IAE. Shady's got a good point. Titan suit, I could see them dropping that in IAE.
In IAE, I don't
Maybe
know.
more suits.
They put it in the files, so that means we're going to get it sooner or later.
No, there's actually no indication of the Titan suit in the files.
Yeah, they did put it in the files according to Pipeline. Yeah, they put it in there.
No, there's none. I didn't.
I saw it.
Where is it? Let's see.
Don't make me go find the screenshot and give it to you.
Well, if you can find it, that'll be handy.
Well, I don't have to. Shady collaborated it. He's the one that actually brought it up.
Well, the Atlas variants, I do expect that.
That's what I meant to say just now. Yeah, different versions of powered suits that can be useful for on-site activities, like whatever you're doing in your base. Maybe one of them will be a variant to actually build outposts with, like build and repair structures with.
I don't expect.
It doesn't have all to be done by ships.
Yeah,
I don't expect a variant.
The Grey Cat CAV is another one.
So basically, I know. They're going to make a, what's that thing called? Oh God. SCV. Oh, huh? I think maybe that's what the CSV is in reference to. Maybe it's another powered suit, equivalent to the SCV of StarCraft. Remember that? SCV in StarCraft. That's your first.
Yeah, I don't.
That's the first. That's basically the first thing you build in StarCraft in the RTS strategy game. And they're little powered suits that people are inside that basically weld and build and mine stuff.
Okay, so here's a couple of things that were in the
buildings
file.
And
so there's a mention of the CSV cargo drone hatch, the CSV cargo rack, the cargo rack top, drone bay placeholder, and a roof.
Okay, so they're
cap.
giving us drones.
I got this fender.
You're going to be drones sitting there. You can't use them yet.
There was also mention of a Xeon drone, but
in the rear with the gear. Yeah, exactly. There were little powered suits, and they built here the bases and mined. Yeah, whatever. Maybe that's what CSV is.
Well, maybe. Who knows?
I wonder what SCV stands for. Did they ever say that in StarCraft? No, I don't think so. Space construction vehicle now. It's on the
Yeah, so all those things are going to be all about base building.
Yeah, right.
Well, so I'm hoping
not necessarily
that they'll throw in the silhouette ships like they did every year. I'd be disappointed.
I hope they don't.
I can keep guessing the rest of the year.
That was a waste.
Oh,
No,
it's funny.
That was a handy thing for us to go by. Because I think all but one is now out.
Right.
So,
the one that's missing is the Crusader starter ship.
Yeah.
The heavy Mirai.
Oh, the heavy Mirai, that's right.
Well, that was actually leaked as was.
That's definitely going to be an IAE reveal.
Yep.
The stars, my destination. Star Citizen 1.0.
So this scares me.
What
Okay,
our intentions
there's
are for our
there's-
epic shared
I
universe.
just put it in the foyer chat. There's the Titan suit.
Okay, good. Saves me looking it up.
Yeah, there were some XML files. I don't. That's the only thing that we've seen of it. And who knows? Those could just be misspelled, or
It could be just a tease.
they
And
could
just put in there
be
just to throw us off base.
they could be in reference to a different object that they just renamed, temporarily named Titan suit, and isn't actually the Titan suit. I don't know.
Well, hopefully I'm wrong, but I'm not
I hope so,
expecting
too.
it anytime soon because this seems to be a squadron thing, really.
Like I said, I feel IAE is going to be focused mostly on military ship introductions, and then CitizenCon is going to be everything else, which is going to be revolving around new player, right, with the starter ship, all of the stuff associated with building, base building, and all the things associated with that.
Mhm.
So this is an important one because we talked about this there a few days ago about how all of us as backers truly didn't know what Star Citizen 1.0 actually entailed. We all had visions in our own heads, but they were all different, and we never really got a unified vision of what 1.0 actually looks
Everybody
like.
went off on what are MVP.
Yeah.
What is the MVP?
Theory
What are the
crafting.
pillars? The pillars
Theory crafting,
minimum. Doing
And we
crazy.
never had a proper guide, and we were kind of critical of CIG of not kind of giving us some kind of indications of where they were heading, because what this will result in is massive whinging.
'Cause they
We're going to
didn't
see
fucking
whinging
know.
on levels we've never seen before because
Mhm.
so many people will be disappointed in CIG's vision compared to our
Mhm.
expectations, our loose and wild expectations. And so this will hopefully indicate where they are actually going. We'll finally know what Star Citizen
The
is about.
community is going to melt down.
Mm.
Is all we
Which
need to
is
know.
why I agree with. I was listening to Astropub yesterday. I agree with him saying that they cannot wing. They cannot wing this. This should be somewhat highly scripted. Don't go off script. Well thought out. A presentation put together.
Oh no, that's
And
not
they
going to be
should-
the problem. The problem is
well,
going
I
to
hope
be
not.
the expectations, right?
Mm.
Because everybody, like we were saying, everybody expected when Star Citizen goes live 1.0, we're going to have 100 systems. We're going to have all the gameplay mechanics.
Yeah, you can
We're
forget
going to
about
have
that.
everything, right? So we know we
Mhm.
ain't got that shit, right? So
Yeah.
what is 1.0? How many systems are we going to have, right? What fleshed out systems in regards to player skills or ships or whatever are we going to have, right? We already have mining. We pretty much figured out mining is complete, with the exception of having ships to do the refining for us. But that's basically been built out to completion. They're now filling out salvaging, right? They're growing that out. It's not done. So I would assume for 1.0, they're going to say it will be done, right? We don't have fucking exploration. That's nowhere in fucking sight. So don't expect that, right? And so that's what it's going to be. Is they're going to tell us, okay, this is what we're going to give you, as a bare minimum to say that we are gold. We're not going to do any more wipes. We're going to, whatever. And then we will start to add onto that in a typical game development and maintaining cycle. So you will never get, I wouldn't say you never get a bad patch, but when you get a patch, it has already been debugged and all that other stuff. And when they put out the patch, it should not impact the gameplay. You should never worry about getting a wipe and all that other kind of crap.
Well, here's a couple things that I would like for them, whoever, I'm sure it would be with Chris and the other guy. I would like them to say in so many words that your expectation of hyper individuality will be crushed. You will not be able to fly your ships by yourself. Matter of fact, we will delay this computer blade stuff where you and either some software can fly these multi-crew ships by yourself. You will not be able to do that at 1.0. Maybe after that we will come and we will come and look at that. I don't want to hear y'all cry about it. We got your money. F y'all. That's it.
I don't think they'll actually say it like that.
They
but,
won't say it like that, of course. No, they won't.
But again, it would. You're right. I don't expect them to say we're going to have blades in and NPCs that you can buy or rent at 1.0. That will be later.
So, okay, so does this not present the argument that this drive to have 1.0 out, why can't they not just continue with alpha to get the other elements of gameplay, and then when all the gameplay is in?
Because it's all about it's about two things, right? One is the community
Wipes.
right? We got to get the community to fucking just stop with all the whining. It's not done. It's not done. It's not done. Take away that argument. It's done. Now it's an MMO. So now when the new stuff comes out, it will be added to the gameplay when it's ready. Okay?
Okay.
You can play. You don't have to worry about wipes. You can play. You're good to go. And number two is they got backers. They actually have backers that they want to get their money back. And so getting it rolled out, and they may get their money back from Squadron 42 if it's a successful game, but they want their money back. So make it live. Plus, once it goes live in 1.0, we are now going to bring in a new flood of players that have been waiting for it to go live because they don't want to play a buggy mess. Right? So rolling it out as 1.0 and saying, we are live. We don't have all the features yet, but we are live. People will say, okay, I can now play this game. And they will go and play.
Yeah, and what sort of like finds all the points that Innova said, and it's sort of like the elephant in the room, so to speak, is time. It's been over, in some cases, or in many cases, over a decade, and and people's patience are, starting to wear thin. I know it doesn't show with the purchases, with sales, but we all know that is not a sustainable model. And we all know that people will eventually become tired and say, well, okay, we don't want to do this anymore. So they're at the point where, they got to have something. They got to say something, this is it. And, this is 1.0. And from now on, we're going to build on everything. The question is what we should be asking ourselves after 1.0 will be released, however it will be released. Will they be as transparent as they currently have been?
I don't see why not.
You think that's baked into the cake?
I mean, it's a model that's been working for them. I don't see why they would change it. I mean, the community loves the videos. Now we're going to have even more people that are going to be watching the videos and seeing the development of the game if they like the game, and waiting for that next bit of hopium, copium, and addiction. So I don't see why they wouldn't. The thing is that it has to be a finished product when they roll it out. It can't be, we're going to roll it out, and if it's buggy, it's an alpha. They can't use that excuse anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
So here's where I come in now.
Oh.
So you use the word finish, but it's not finish.
No,
It's far
but
from
MMOs are never finished.
And some key elements would be fundamentally missing. So we talk about the exploration, I should say. But that, remember back in the poll back in 2015,
Yep.
it
What
was
was
by
the number
far the
one
largest.
thing?
Yeah, by far. And if that is not in 1.0,
Like I
Jesus,
said, the community is going to fucking lose their shit.
yeah.
But
So
they are going to roll it out with what they have.
see, this is
But do you
this is
think
where
it should be in 1.0?
I think all basic forms of gameplay should be in 1.0.
Yeah.
I don't think that.
1.0
I don't think that they're going to do. I don't think they're going to do that because unless they are a lot further ahead than what they say they are, which in some cases they have been, but in regards to exploration and stuff like that, I don't think they're where they want to be to roll it out. And I think they're going to roll out 1.0 without full exploration available. It'll be pseudo exploration. The exploration it's a sandbox. Just go explore. Go find something that's out there. Just go fly around and see what you can find, because that's what you did yesterday, right? You just you got in your ship. You said, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go check something out. That's exploration. So that's probably what they're going to say is exploration until they build it all out.
But the key element of exploration in this game is to make money. So there needs to be some form of making money from exploration. So mapping would be a thing. Finding jump points, but that's going to be a rare thing anyway. But finding what you call it, unique items.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And again, finding unique items, you don't have to have a bunch of. You just go find a box somewhere and you found a unique item, right? That doesn't. That's not any kind of special system, right?
No.
The special system is like finding an abandoned spaceship in the middle of freaking nowhere in space because you used an advanced radar, a bunch of drones, and stuff to triangulate to find it, to be able to salvage it and find that unique thing, right?
But there's other things again associated with that gameplay that can come from other gameplays, i.e. hacking. So like say you have to decipher a piece of text that you don't understand initially, and then you work on it, and hey presto, you know what it means, and you can make money from that.
Again, a lot of intertwined stuff, but you got to draw lines somewhere, right?
Well, hacking has to be in the game, I think, in 1.0.
Well, does it really? We're surviving now.
Opening doors, opening ships, controlling ships.
Right now, we have ways of opening ship by shooting the doors. We have the tiger claws, where we go to a place, we plug it in, and we just wait for it to run through its process. It's hacking, not the kind of hacking we envision, and they've told us that they're working on. But it's we have it in the game. Again, we are not going to get what everybody is expecting. They're going to have to leave things out to get 1.0 out in any reasonable amount of time. What that time is maybe 2 years, right? Because you figure they ain't going to start working on 1.0 until Squadron 42 is out the fucking door. And we can assume that Squadron 42 is not coming out until next CitizenCon, next year, right? Yeah. So that's a year, right? And so in that year, they're crunching, polishing, blah, blah, blah. We'll have 4.0 out. We'll have who knows how many systems after that, and whatever other things they deliver. So I would think maybe they're going to try to get 1.0 to come out with Squadron 42,
I don't know.
right? So
That's interesting.
there's going to be a lot of stuff missing from 1.0. But the thing is, it's like you drop Squadron 42, everybody plays a single player campaign, and what's the next thing they want to do? Oh,
Yeah,
let
they
me
gotta
jump
have
into the
somewhere to
MMO.
go.
I need an
Exactly.
MMO that's finished.
Yeah, they gotta have somewhere to
Right?
go. We hamster.
And what's in Star Citizen right now? All the stuff that's in Squadron 42. So that's what I'm kind of just came up with, the correlation that it's going to be ready. Their target is to release it with Squadron 42 with just the bare essentials, and then they will add to it afterwards.
So
I don't expect the Endeavor anytime soon.
the nasty cynic that I am, you see, I genuinely believe the whole push to 1.0 is a legal issue and a legal issue only. You see, if they release 1.0, their legal commitments are fulfilled. And so therefore they do not have to give us 100 star systems. They do not have to give us exploration gameplay, because they're no longer a
Okay, so let me ask you something.
Mm.
All right, just honest. Okay, how long have you been following this game?
Too long.
Okay, and apart from taking too long, have they ever turned this into a scam?
It legally isn't a scam.
It's not, because they've actually committed. They could have taken the money and run a long time ago.
Oh, they
They could have
yeah,
not delivered a long time ago.
Yeah,
They are not going to
but going by
say,
1.0,
oh, we've released
still,
it and we're done. We don't have
it
to give you
still
anything
doesn't
else.
make it a scam. Somebody could try taking them to court. They won't have a chance, because
But what I'm saying is, they at any time they could have fucking bailed on us, and they haven't.
We knew
And I
that was
don't
never
think that they're
happening.
going to bail on us when they release 1.0. He
No,
still
that's not
wants to
bad. No.
do Squadron 42 Book 2 and Book 3.
But no, see, that's different. We have to treat
Right?
the MMO differently than
But
or
the
the,
MMO,
not the
look
MMO,
at the
the
MMO.
single player.
Look at the MMO as WoW, right? WoW, they would always be releasing patches, right?
Yeah.
Adding more content and stuff, and then every once in a while they do like an expansion or whatever. But I don't think, and I don't
But
know. I
But
mean,
is
from
there
a marketing,
really anything? But WoW is different, because the gameplay is always going to be roughly the same. There's no
thing
new
with Star
gameplay going to
Citizen.
be coming. No, but Star Citizen will be much, as I say, when there's no exploration. There's
So
no
they
proper
added, but
trading.
what's the negative? What's the positive to them to not give us exploration?
They've committed.
What benefit?
They've fulfilled their legal obligations.
And what are they going to do?
So
They're going to
adding
just stop supporting the
exploration is
game?
No,
yeah,
it
it's a
means
fulfillment of a quote legal obligation. I'm not exactly sure.
You're basically
All
saying
the
that
stretch
once they
goals from the
release
Kickstarter
1.0,
era.
they don't have to give us anything else, because
No,
they
they
met their
don't.
legal obligation, and they're
Yes.
just going to stop developing,
No.
and they're going to stop
They-
giving us these things that they promised us.
Yes, they could stop giving us what they wouldn't say promise, but they indicate they might go. But they could say, no, we're not going to go in that direction. We're going to go in this direction now. And there's nothing we can do about it.
You know what? We've never had any control over what they can do.
No, we never did.
We never did,
but
and we never will.
But we
Well,
did have.
we have influence.
Well, we did have some
Mhm.
influence. Yeah, we do.
We have influence, but we
Mhm.
have no control, and we never will.
And because it is still an alpha, we still have some legal protection. But once that goes to 1.0, we lose that. We will lose that.
I
So
disagree with you.
What
but
you're saying- So
I
what you're
believe that
saying,
this will-
hold on. What you're saying is that if we lose this legal protection, then we damn well better make sure we get this and this and this and this for that loss of legal protection. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He's saying that if it's not in the game when it gets released, there's no guarantee we're going to get it. Period.
exactly.
They don't. They are not committed to giving
I
it to
see.
us.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
All right.
now,
Well, you are correct. I mean that's a chance. That's a risk.
So and another thing we have to be careful of in the future.
Who
is-
hit you as a child? Why do you have trust issues? Where did they touch you?
I told you, I'm a spawn of Satan. So
You
the
gotta
thing
have
that we also
trust.
have to be careful. Well, see, we're dealing with business, and business is something we can trust because they can always change direction. And it's another thing I'm always afraid of in the long term. Chris selling. So again, with 1.0, he could sell this to somebody else.
That's true. He can always tell. One of the things
sell
about
it to
business
Ubisoft.
is about making money and selling. But I honestly think that he still has a big story to tell, and he is not going to sell anytime soon. And he wants to.
No, you're right.
He wants to build that game he promised us. He wants it for himself.
He's an artist at the end of the day, and yeah, I do believe that he would like it. But also, he could be sick and tired of the whole bloody thing, for all we know.
No.
And
You
he
could
could
see,
say,
you could see it in the
All these
passion
miners.
in the CitizenCon. He is not there yet. He's not
well,
there
I hope
yet.
you're right. I hope you're right. As I said, I'm just.
I mean, I
being,
hope
like,
I'm right too, because
skeptical.
I mean, I suffer the same consequences as you do.
Mhm.
I would rather be an optimist than a pessimist.
It's just that
We have way too many pessimists.
I would like people just to stand back just one pace and look at 1.0 and the potentials of it, because it is a fundamental change to the state that we're in right now. So we have to be quite careful of putting pressure on CIG to make sure that they put in as much gameplay as possible before they go to that state. Because once they cross that line, we have lost something, and CIG will gain. And
I mean, you're not. I think it's perfectly reasonable to have those expectations to say, hey, if we're going to go down this road, if things are going to fundamentally change, you're going to have quote unquote a advantage over us by terms of legality.
Yeah.
Then I think it's not too much to ask for, this, and this, and this in 1.0. And I would hope that Chris and whomever would more or less say that without saying it that way. I would also like to add that this would be a good time to add Mr. Zarevek in the conversation with the last thing, which 1.0. I would hope there would be some form of a working economy. That will be vital. I mean, that is to me is a non-negotiable thing. And if there is an economy in there, then the economy would hopefully at least touch on exploration, because you need ways of generating money and ways of having money sinks.
True, but again, the thing is, when it all comes down to, it's like when you're getting ready to do this 1.0, you have to have written objectives, and then so they need to know what those objectives are to be, and they need to obviously know what it's going to take to get there, right? So if they know that they are not going to be able to get to 1.0 because they're not going to get exploration done, then they'll exclude exploration if the target date is sooner than what it would take to get exploration, and then they're going to drop it without exploration. So that's the thing, is like they need to figure out what it is that they can deliver when they need to deliver it. And you already know that sometimes they go over.
Oh yeah.
Right? So they're probably going to play it even safer, and they're going to pull back a lot of stuff to get 1.0 out versus trying to get the stuff out before 1.0 comes out.
So that's CitizenCon. It's either we're gonna love it or hate it. It should be interesting.
I think it'll be mixed.
Yeah, it will be a mix. Yeah, but as I said, that last one will scare me. I know it will.
Mhm.
So anyway, let's move on to this. And so before we go any further, who is this video by? Because it isn't by us, Realm, isn't it?
No, of course not. It's just, it's
I just want to
YouTube,
straight
whatever.
I don't want to state this for legal reasons, since we're not allowed to. Yeah.
So, but the thing is he using old footage or is he actually using the game
I
footage?
have no idea. I think this
He's
is
not-
recent.
No.
Well, it
this
could have
is-
been from the other tech previews,
Don't know.
right? Could have been from the other tech previews. Who knows?
But whatever.
I don't know,
The thing
door-
is,
the door button new or the door panels.
but this was also
that-
this was already even before the test was started.
All right. So wait, before we start
had-
talking about 4.0, before we start talking about 4.0, let's go back to .2, right? .2 is in its final set of testing. I anticipate .2 to drop before CitizenCon.
Well, it has to because there's CitizenCon elements in it. So Yeah.
So I expect that this will drop by Friday at the latest. So they're in crunch. They're dropping a patch almost every day and during the weekends, and multiple patches as we're about to cover during the weekend. So they are this patch notes. The bugs have gotten a lot smaller, and it looks like they've made some more adjustments to some of the stuff. So I definitely think this will be out by next week.
the Argo S CSV icons are out. They must be
Okay.
in the 0.2 patch. So it's a vehicle, 4 wheels. It's basically a pickup truck.
So it's probably going to be part of the
Actually, we can show it.
building stuff.
I guess.
Don't know if it's if that's the tier 2 building truck or whatever, but or it's just a generic truck. But so yeah, 0.2 I expect to be out next week to everybody. And then I expect at least one or two 4.0. One. I expect one more 4.0 patch next week.
Okay, well, I hope they do something with the server errors because I think it still happens a bit too more often than I like. Because it does seem to be occurring roughly around every half an hour or so. So hopefully that will be resolved.
every 10 minutes.
Well, it depends really where you were, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can be bad.
Yeah, but even so, let's see. That was yesterday, so they got a hint of it through message of the day system, where they said, okay, we might have a potential for a 4.0 test with the full build in it, and then they would at the same time they would do a server meshing, a small server meshing test with the 4.0 patch, which I think turned out to be like 400.
Holy shit.
Per dedicated gaming server or something. And
Sorry,
even some of
to
the
go back
devs
to-
started
Sorry, to go
announcing it
back to
beforehand.
2.0, they added the Mirai Pulse, the Ursa Medevac, the MPUV-T, and the Firebird to these stores.
Yeah, it was quick.
Yep.
Well, we knew that they were gonna do the ETLS already as well. Yeah.
So anyway, now 4.0.
But this is kind of a first because it was the first time when a full 4.0 build was in public testing. Well, public, not at least not QA, internal QA. And
Right. So, well, I mean, full being in that the server meshing was involved,
well, and the
and
patch
you
had
had
the whole
jump point
pyro system. Yeah.
and you had the jump point between Pyro and Stanton, because for the most part, most of the Pyro was already in and been play tested. Like you said, there was like one planet missing and a bunch of moons, but that's really not anything in comparison. So it's like, sure, you got the one planet and the moons that were missing from the previous, but everybody already knows what it's like. So they didn't really do anything different. But yeah, everything was that we should be expecting in 4.0 will eventually be available to all the Evo and PTU wave testers when they get to that point. Shady, yeah, the jump point mechanics. The jump point mechanics were interesting. I for one had my interaction with the jump point. I was not prepared for the steering, and so I immediately fell out of the wormhole. And I ended up, all right, so I'm assuming you know where the jump point is. I ended up in Microtech. I just went into it, immediately went through the wall and came out, and I ended up in Microtech, which is like 180 degrees in the opposite direction on the other side of the freaking solar system. I'm like,
Stealthy
holy
Mike
shit.
says it's too hard to do.
Well, the first time you do it, unless you're in like a fighter and you have, the reflexes and you're used to, moving around and stuff like that, yeah, you'll probably fail. You'll probably fail if you're not paying attention. You know what to do. I wasn't paying attention. I was just like, oh wow, this is so cool. And then I went in and I'm like, oh wait, I'm heading for the fucking wall. What the fuck? Because
boom.
I honestly, I thought it was like, they said that when you would have a automated thing that would take you through the jump point, unless you wanted to do it yourself back in the day, long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
So I figured that was what was going to happen. It was just going to drive me through it. That wasn't the case. Ergo, I just went out the freaking side of the thing and ended up back by Microtech and had to start my trek all the way back again. But the people that actually did start flying it and doing it said that once you kind of get the gist of it, it's not that tough. But for some people, it will be tough. No doubt in my mind. There are some people that will not be able to fly through that.
Like anybody in a large vehicle is not going to like it. So it's fine to steer it in a small vehicle, but the medium to large vehicles are, what I've seen.
Those pillars?
It's just ridiculous. There's no way, even just getting through the first hole, the start seems to be an issue. And there's no way smaller, less maneuverable vehicles are going to be able to handle that. So
yeah, I looked at a leaked clip of that last night, and I'm like, they gotta remove them down pillars. I mean, not everything in this game should be a super hard challenge and stuff like that. I really think that they should automatically have that option of just an automatic fly through the wormhole. I think that's my opinion anyway.
Well, if we go by the concept that was pushed, there was two types. There was the initial go through, which the wormhole was newly formed and therefore it creates a new tunnel. And the first person going through it will have to do it manually because it hasn't been mapped out yet. And then once you go through it, you get the exclusive or the rights to do that, because then you're the first one, you can sell it and make money from it. And therefore, everybody then gets the map and you can put into a computer and then it automatically brings you through. So that's what was plugged. But again,
It
as we
hasn't
know,
been implemented yet.
yeah, so it's very difficult. And considering that there might be even a little bit of lag as you go into it, yeah, it might be slightly unfair at the moment, even to small vehicles, but it's definitely very unfair for larger vehicles.
Then
Well,
like I
legit
said,
whining.
But
Like I
it's-
said, when you have large ships, it's not an advantage anymore.
it's ridiculous how unmaneuverable you will be through this. That has to be sorted. So, but this is the first time we properly have the jump points.
Yeah. Doesn't fly us through backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Doesn't bounce us around all over
and
the
what
place.
I've seen, it's quite impressive. So
Yeah.
just hopefully we just have to give CIG a bit of room to fine tune things.
Yep. Now the other thing about the patch is that they gave you the option to start in Pyro.
Yes, that's what I did.
Now I don't know
Yeah.
if that's going to be a permanent thing or not, because people have said that new players that start in Pyro will not know. Oh, you see, there's the thing I pointed to you.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't implemented yet.
Oh,
Oh, it's at the
The-
base. Look down there. Okay.
Yeah.
I was
The
looking. Okay.
the general consensus from the community is that you don't want new players starting in Pyro because they're not going to have the knowledge or what to expect, right? And they might get turned off from it, and so Stanton should be the only place that you can start.
no, and I think in effect, because I think we can talk about our experience in the 4.0
can,
patch. In effect, it did seem like you weren't supposed to pick a home location in Pyro anyway. You could do it this time for the sake of the test, but at least the station that I was in, it initially spawned me there, and I could call all my ships there, but I think like I couldn't access. What was it? There was some missing. There was some stuff that was just seriously broken, and it looked like it was just because it wasn't intended to be considered a home location.
Stations right now are not set up to be considered home locations, right? And then so having you spawn in a station, it doesn't help because your hangar's technically not persistent.
Yeah,
it kind of is.
That too. Yeah, that's
right
what I
now.
noticed.
It's kind of. But it's not technically persistent. So depending on what size ship you call, it's going to give you an appropriate size hangar.
And it exactly did that. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's like.
And also, I couldn't mess with my ship loadout for whatever reason.
I think that's just because it's probably. It was only meant for server meshing testing and for the jump points. That they probably have a bunch of stuff turned off.
I don't know if anyone else had this issue, but I was also almost impossible to get into my ship when it spawned in the hangar because it kept sort of despawning the hangar. The hangar suddenly disappeared, and I was in the middle of EVA inside of the station.
I think I saw people complaining about that.
Yeah, and I saw others complaining about that. I was just constantly doing that, and unless you didn't get into your ship quick enough, the whole hangar would suddenly disappear and you would be inside the structure in EVA. You would have to glitch out or die because you wouldn't be able to get in anyway.
That was an issue we had when they first introduced the hangars the first time. So it's just carrying over to Pyro because of the way the servers. Because of the way the servers are set up, it's probably part of the problem.
I didn't even, get
meshing and
into
stuff.
space until like 2 hours later or something.
I heard that someone did find an asteroid base. They are apparently labeled. You just have to go to it. Correct me if I'm wrong, prices were high, which is a bad thing for starters.
They were higher, yeah. So like it was $260 for a MediPen.
MedPen. Yeah, when it's only 100 in Stanton, so you're looking at least 100% increase in price.
I was kind of expecting that. You know, when supply is not constant, so yeah, you do expect that. Yeah, I don't think that was an issue.
Not a good place to start if you're going to be
no, if you're a newbie,
starting player. Yeah, you don't want to start in a place where everything is hyped up price wise.
I think it's quite safe to say that won't happen, because I've seen in a lot of games that they don't do that. They always give you the easy start.
They might just give you a warning saying this zone is not meant for beginners. If you go at your own risk, you know. And there are going to be people that are going to say, "Oh, I can handle it," and then they're like,
"All right, here we go." Realm
I did have a lot of server crashes, so definitely not stable with the configuration that they had for server meshing. But I saw other people were having issues as well. So hopefully the next iteration will be a little bit more stable.
Where did they get that stuff from?
What?
It's in the new 0.2 build.
Oh, it's a new 0.2 build.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay,
there you go.
So
first hot fun of the press. Breaking news.
So that is...
It's a flatbed.
Yeah, pickup.
That's useless.
Does it drive? Does it drive in that direction, or does it drive in that direction?
Well, not top right is forward.
I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because if you put 4 SEU units, you're already blocking your view, and if you put 8 because you double stack, you're not going to be able to see shit. So yeah, that's got to be the back end. Again, do we really need that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's cute.
Yes.
Why?
Yes, we do.
So let's say you arrive at distribution center, right? And you have one of these. It's much easier to stick the 4 or 8. You can probably put 8 on top of that, and then bring it to your ship rather than.
Okay, but I can use the hover trolley that holds 12.
Well, if you want to use the hover trolley, that's and that's as buggy as hell. Even what we've seen in what was it? Did it come out in 0.2? Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It only goes walking speed anyway.
But still, that's still slow. So maybe you have to go further distance anyway.
That's how larger base is, you know.
Yeah, we could say the same with any ground vehicle. What's the bloody point?
Well,
right
no,
now,
I mean,
gameplay is missing.
The mule was supposed to be like a forklift, and it's actually a dead vehicle now.
Well, the
really
forks never worked.
It's nothing more than a freaking LTI token at this point.
Because it never came out properly. So the vehicle is supposed to raise up and therefore tie enough to stick a 1 SEU box in the back. You can't do that. You have to force it under the vehicle to get it in there. And then the forks never worked.
Yep.
They never worked. So that was a classic example of CIG rushing the vehicle when it wasn't ready, just to get it out for the sales.
Yep. I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of cute, but
no, it just makes sense in the long term. But the gameplay is missing. The ground vehicle gameplay is missing.
Right now, I can't see.
Where are roads, CIG?
I can't see us using that in a hangar because I can use an Atlas more efficiently than that.
No, that's not for a hangar. You're having a wheeled vehicle in a hangar is
this is for bases on the ground.
Yeah. Basis is basically the thing. So again, if you have your outpost, and as I said before, you're going to have some kind of modular thing that makes you money. Let's say mining. So you have an automated mining machine doing its thing, and you're going to have to go over and then convert that into boxes, and then you carry the boxes to your landing pad in there. You know, that kind of thing.
These are the bigger distribution centers.
Or the bigger distribution centers, you know.
And there could be bigger versions along the way.
Oh, well.
Maybe. I don't know.
On my truck.
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
Just a longer one with a pivot point in the middle, like we've never had with the Atlas platforms.
So
The anvil.
this is. We must treat this as a future gameplay, like any of the ground vehicles.
And I see people just running around with people on the back, like Road Warrior, shooting at each
Yeah,
other with
that's
that
true.
shit.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, that will be a
Yeah.
thing. I'm certain that will be a thing. So yeah, stick.
Depending on how fast it goes, of course.
You know, you can stick a gun on top of that. But see, don't forget, this is the cargo variant. Are you ready for the other one? So I haven't
What's the
got
other
any
one?
images for it
There's
yet.
another one?
Yes. So we've seen in the files that this possibly might have missiles.
What?
So this is the cargo variant that we're watching here, or seeing here. There are indications that there's another variant with missiles. But there's no
Makes
images of it
sense.
yet.
No, it does not make sense.
Yes, it does. It's cheap. It's a cheap,
cheap.
very
Well, it has
cheap
to be cheap.
anti-air
We hope it's
defense
cheap.
platform.
Well,
Which brings
it's-
us to the next question. How
it's
much do
kinda
we think
like-
it's gonna be?
It's like the terrorists. They have Ford trucks,
Yeah.
F-150 trucks, and they put machine guns on the back of them. That's kind of like
No,
this. You
it's
take
always a
that,
Toyota.
you stick a rocket launcher on the back end of it.
Ford. Nobody uses Ford. It's always a Toyota.
All right, whatever. But they use a pickup and they put the guns on it. Fucking whatchamacallit, the Chechen guy, he fucking put a big giant machine gun on the back of a Cybertruck.
Well, one thing I was about to say, do you know the gun turrets that they have, the manual turrets they have outside outposts?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you
It's a
can't take
pity-
them off, unfortunately.
No, that's the thing. Yeah, pity they didn't give you a tool that like took the bolt out of the ground and you could lift it up with a tractor beam. And then,
Well, that's what I thought when you said they had missile launchers. I was thinking maybe they just have a connector that you pop in there that connects to the physics grid for all the four, and then you just have mounted on there either a turret or a missile launcher or whatever. You don't have to actually have an entirely different variant. You just have a module that you plop on there, and kind of like it's basically you strap it in kind of thing. You just stick it and you're done.
Actually, hang on a sec. I'm getting mixed up. I'm talking. Okay, no, my bad. I'm gonna reverse you. Sorry for ruining your desires to have a missile. Sorry, that's the other one. That's the one I can't get mixed up. The other CAV. That's to have the missiles. My bad. Sorry, the other variant has a drone bay placeholder.
Okay, that's cool.
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
a landing pad or something.
So that being said, do we think that we're gonna get drones with the settlements?
Why not?
I mean, we're overdue for drones. We've been needing
Oh,
them
we're
for a
well
while.
overdue for drones. Sorry, Shady. I didn't mean to ruin it there for the AA variant. No, it's the other one. It's the CAV that has the missile in the settings. My bad. Sorry. It actually supposed to have 3 size 5 torps on the Grey Cat CAV. Anyway, but as the drones, if you think about it, for exploration or even surveying an area, having drones is very handy for small groups. Because we've all done it in the past, where we've helped rocks to find various different crops of minerals, and usually you have 2 or 3 people dedicated just to find them, and it's quite time consuming using like the likes of prospectors or other ships with good decent radar. And so if you can have a drone doing that will save a lot of time or resources, because you don't have to share the goods with more people.
Oop, right through the system.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, so this is leaked footage from the actual
Yeah, that
test.
is not us. That is
No,
not
it's
us.
not.
Well, this was
No.
just straight from Reddit that people already reposted it.
Well, I know, but I just want to confirm that is not us.
That's not us at all.
We don't want to piss off CIG.
But yeah, you can see, probably same as any of us, nobody was properly prepared, and
They went in and oops.
yeah, and even the
I
next
did-
time we went
that's-
in,
I mean, they were in third person. I was in first person, but that's literally what I did. I went,
Oh,
"Oh, that's so cool!" And then it's like, "Whoop! Oh, that's not good."
no,
And then I look and I'm in freaking micro attack. What the fuck?
yeah, you can see he's well away from the nebula now.
oh yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that looks. Yeah, they're gonna have to fine tune that a bit better.
Now this guy makes it through because he obviously being a fighter in a fighter jet, and usually you do combat and stuff like that, your reflexes are a little better, and so he was able to actually react.
Yeah, I know he got a server error, didn't he? Yeah, I think
At the
Yeah,
end.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a second run and he made it all the way through.
Okay, cool. But yeah, there's a lot of
Holy
sliding
shit.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then wait, there it is. There's one.
What, about 3 or 4
Game
after
like
it.
little
There's
girl.
one. There's two.
Game like little girl.
There's
But-
three.
Again, as I say,
Jesus,
for larger
that is
ships,
just-
this is
That's unnecessary.
Yeah, you can see he's fighting it,
Oh, he's definitely, yeah.
and he's in a
But the-
fighter.
But he's sliding. That's the thing that's really scary. He slides for a good
Well,
portion.
I think he said that, or somebody said that it's easier to strafe than it is to actually fly.
Right.
Strafing is more efficient when it comes to doing this, is what someone had said. But a lot of people don't strafe
Oh.
unless they're.
See this point? You see
That's
how
where-
it's
yeah.
changed color? Yeah.
So now, if he were to fall out, he would fall out somewhere in Pyro.
Mm.
Let's talk about Pyro and how far everything is.
Yeah. Well, as I tested it, yesterday, one element that didn't help my enjoyment of the gameplay. That's why at the start I said define fun, because while I was having some fun, in the end I wasn't, because the quantum drive was driving me up the feckin' wall. Because I have it spooling, and you can hear the noise that you're about to jump, and then it stops. And I've only moved about a
I was
couple of kilometers. No, just
No.
in the end. Go on.
I was saying I was reading through the notes of people making suggestions and all that other stuff. Basically, what was happening was the quantum drives were turning themselves off.
Yes, it was like I jumped, and then it stopped.
They were
And
turning themselves off, and that's why I kept saying if you had repowered up every time.
But I did all that. I did all that, and I went to Pyro 5 because I wanted to see the 5 moons and Pyro 4, which also goes around Pyro 5, because they didn't have that last time I was in there, so they had outposts and everything, and I couldn't move anywhere. I was above one of the moons, and I couldn't even jump to Pyro 5 as the nearest planet. But this even started when I first spawned in Pyro. I was above Bloom in the space station. I can't remember what it was called again. And even jumping from there to Pyro 5, this error started to occur. And I had to go to a shorter jump to somewhere else, and then jump from there to Pyro 5. But once I got to Pyro 5, again, it started stuttering, and it really was not enjoyable, very frustrating to get around Pyro. But talking about, excluding that, I really did like what I saw of the moons. They're very interesting. There's one that looks almost like a volcanic moon. Though I know they said they had to dumb it down compared to the original concept. That was supposed to be a real Vulcan planet. Lava rivers everywhere, but they didn't have the tech in time, and so they sadly had to dumb that down. But yeah, that was really cool. I have to say, I did enjoy that, and no solar flares. I didn't get a single one.
Yeah, they probably have that turned off at the moment.
Maybe, or they just,
but you ran out of fuel.
no, it didn't run out of fuel. No,
There's
it
a
didn't. I
light.
had plenty of fuel.
Okay.
I had plenty of fuel. No, it's just that quantum error was occurring all the time, and I could not move, and I just rage quitted in the end because I just couldn't get anywhere. I couldn't even quantum back to the moon that was right behind me. So yeah, that was something. But anyway, I'm not really complaining because again, it's the first proper iteration of 4.0, and yeah, really, yeah, I'm really hopeful about this.
Yep.
But I don't know.
And
I don't know when we're going to get this though.
I'm betting
You say
4.0
before IAE.
IE. Yep.
Um,
That gives them a
yeah,
month.
I don't know.
And the fact that they released this yesterday, full version, even though they had a lot of stuff turned off, and it was buggy, right?
Mhm.
It's way further along than what you normally see in some of the other stuff that they've given us. So once they get the stability in place, again, most of the stuff's already there.
Mhm.
It's it's just it's kind of a copy and paste of Stanton, only just different, right? You'll
Mhm.
have you'll have the missions and the stuff and whatever. A couple of new features, you know. So I really think, and considering that they are in a rush to get it out as soon as possible, yeah, I would think that their goal is for IAE, and we'll have a better understanding of that after CitizenCon.
Oh yeah. Because everything's all about crushing the 0.2 patch at the moment, so they can probably dedicate more resources to getting 4.0 out. But this one was interesting. So you can clearly see that this eclipse smashed into the wall and into the pillars in the middle a few times, and he wasn't kicked out. No, he's kicked out here now, is he? Oh yeah. Does
He
he
did a
actually go back?
360. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I was wondering about that.
He's going in reverse too, right? He's back to Stanton.
Yeah. He somehow
Um,
turned it around inside, which is something you weren't supposed to do, I don't think. But apparently he figured out he can, and so he did. And that's
So-
and I guess that's what happens when you're flying with decoupling turned off. You can do that kind of shit.
But yeah, he definitely seems to be more wild in this, but he's hitting off the walls and the pillars all the time. So why isn't he being kicked out or what?
Well, the pillars
He took
really
damage.
they don't they damage you, but they're not going to force you out of the hole, right? They're going to damage you. They'll do some kind of distortion and stuff, and then depending on the ship's ability to withstand the distortion, it will keep you in the tunnel until you reach a certain level. Then it'll kick you out. So hitting those pylons are not necessarily going to be a big
No, he
problem.
came from Pyro. He just.
But if you hit enough of them, it could be, depending on the size of your ship.
But yeah, overall it's exciting, I have to say, and it was quite stable. I think I only had a couple. Well, me, I had a good run, so I know Relum didn't. He had a hard time, but I had a good
didn't.
run.
I was stuck in freaking server error hell for like a half an hour or more.
I only got 3, I think, in total, and they all came out, and they were. I was in quantum at the time, so all I did was stop my quantum travel and I just marked my target again and went off. So yeah, it was actually pretty
Stay on
smooth
target.
for me. Stay on target. Yeah, I for me it was promising. So yeah, it's. Ooh, are we getting more?
No, I think
Well,
we got everything.
no, that's yeah. You want to talk about the other data from 4.0 or not? No.
No, we'd better not. We'll let somebody else leak it, and then we'll report them. There's nothing really, is there? Anything major?
Well, they
Anyway.
would know what some of the rewards are. Wasn't there some other community whining though earlier this week? Like ship fuel prices and the fact that was actually a mistake.
Oh, so I double checked. They did adjust the prices back, so they're basically ×2 at this point, or close to ×2, what they were before. So live, if you paid 1,000, you are now paying 2,000 when the new patch comes out. But then again, they just made more adjustments in the patch, so that could have changed as well.
So they were getting multiplied by some backend resource network systems are getting worked.
That
on
made it
now.
super ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that wasn't the intention, obviously.
Right, but they fixed it. Their intention was to increase the price, but not by that amount. Right now, it's ×2. Well, again, they just put in the patch notes that they made another adjustment or quantum fuel adjustments. I don't know if that's pricing or if that's just quantity and stuff like that. But pricing wise, the last I checked this morning, it was almost a ×2.
And then halfway through the week, they did like 2,000 player tests on a single DGS with a massively like crap, I think.
Yep, they got 2,000 players. I think 1,800 out of the 2,000 was what they had going at one point.
Yeah, that was quite impressive. What was the ratio? It was 6 to...
Yeah, 6-2.
Yeah. So... Yeah. That's
why I said I
sign.
was surprised when they did the ratio for the 4.0 at, what was it, 4-200?
No, what?
Or 4-100?
4-100. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like really surprised that they had it on such a low number, considering that when they usually use 6 and higher numbers, they do better. But then again, it is a beginning. They got to start at the minimum and work up.
No, they had to get the jump points working properly, and to have some kind of lag in there would have not been a good thing.
We need to tell Junto and Tio to make an appearance next week.
Oh, they'll pop up. They'll pop up. They're the ones that always say, "Ooh, new build. What's new?"
Mm-hmm.
And then become disappointed and they go off in hiding again. Most backers are like that now, I think, or especially long-term backers. Quick look, disappointed, and wait again.
I don't know. Juntao should be, I think, a little bit more happier because it's the gameplay he wants, the containers and the truck hauling and stuff. So his gameplay is in.
Well, a basic element of that gameplay. Let's put it.
Well, there's not much to it. You take a mission, you put a bunch of containers in, and you deliver it. That's pretty basic. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, we have to have the gameplay working properly, not.
What do you mean by the gameplay? It's when it comes to cargo hauling, it's like put in containers, drop them off.
Well, if a system error pops up, that's the end of the mission.
Well, yeah, that's different. That's just the fucking whole game just hitting itself. That's different. That does it to every fucking mission out there.
No, I think it's too early for him. Give it another year. That's what I'll say to him. One more year.
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, all right. So obviously, CitizenCon Saturday, early in the morning. It starts, I think, at 10 or 9 a.m. UTC, 10 a.m. local time.
Yeah, we just
I
had
gotta
a
wake up at
schedule.
like 6 o'clock in the morning or something like that over here.
So this is
Yeah,
a warning I'm about to
5.
give. So if you're on
I don't.
the Americas, yeah, you're gonna
I'm
have to
on.
prepare properly for
Yeah.
that one.
I'll be up for. I'm not gonna be up when the doors open. I'll be up like an hour before.
Get your
That
automatic
starts,
copy
something like that.
machine.
Well,
set.
there's like a pre-show an hour before, but who knows? That'll just be jabble. Hi, everybody.
Yeah,
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 you
Look
want to
at
see it
us.
because you might want to recognize somebody that's who over there. So that's what we did with Innovis.
And then only at
We were doing our
11
best
hour
to
later,
see him.
when the main show starts.
Mhm.
And that's when they. Yeah, that's when the
But
Brave
that's-
New World starts. At 11 local, so that's like
So an hour after
6
UTC. So
6 a.m.
so just drop. Yeah.
7.
Shady was saying or asking if you think that the vehicle with the AA is more for refueling versus actually using it to, or not refueling, rearming versus actually using it as a vehicle to attack with.
Could be.
It's a possibility.
I mean, you can
because
do a lot with it.
well,
With a truck with a flatbed.
Well, it's a good point because that is missing. The Vulcan will come out, and that will be the initial rearming ship for ships. But there's nothing designed for ground gameplay, so it's possible. That could be a thing. It will need to be a thing. I don't see why ground vehicles have to be totally dependent on ships to rearm them, especially the ballista and all that.
I'll tell you, there's some ships and vehicles that you're not going to be able to rearm in the world. You're going to have to put them into a hangar because, like the Zeus, you can't rearm the missiles on the Zeus.
No, we're talking about ground vehicles. So,
well, no, he's talking about the ground vehicle. I mean, carrying missiles around. Period. Right, because you have to rearm your ships, your ships with missiles and stuff like that. You're not always going to be at a base in the air.
No, but
on ground.
You are going to need the node gameplay, i.e., you need people to supply you with armament constantly, and so you're going to need some vehicle to bring it from your base to your front line or whatever.
Right.
So,
but what I'm saying is that that's great and all, but like on a Zeus, you can't rearm missiles unless you do it in a hangar. Because you can't pull them out the little hole, and they're in a glass case underneath the freaking seat of the pilots. Oh, I don't see how you're gonna freaking swap that shit out.
Not yet. But it will be a thing that you will be able to put them in and out of that hole. But they're gonna
This
have
coming from Mr. Sarcastic about when going 1.0, you're gonna not get your stuff. I thought I was being optimistic.
But I think, combat support is a gameplay that's it's not there yet, but will have to be a thing. Node gameplay, I think it's called.
Yeah.
You have to supply. You have to come up with supporting lines either for ordnance, personnel, vehicles, medical. That you have to go back and forth between the vehicles in the front and where everything is supplied from, or your storage or your base or some other outpost that you have. So you need vehicles to supply this back and forward. Now, cargo could do this, and maybe you can use your tractor beams to place them into the other ground vehicles. But I don't see why a ground vehicle can't do it itself.
Yep.
the ballista is a great example. That's just going to be sitting still most of the time. And it's not efficient for that to be moving around back and forth to resupply its weapons. You're going to have something to supply it. So yeah, it's possible, but we'll wait and see.
Oh, because it is, go back to 4.0 real quick. Because of 4.0, it was the full 4.0, the tram refactor was in effect. In Lorville, the tram, you know how the tram comes in, you get into it, and then it goes right back the way it came?
Yeah.
Doesn't do that.
So it goes on a loop.
It actually went the same way it came in. I was like, oh shit, this is all, I'm going to go out into fucking space or something. No, they changed the way the tram worked in Lorville.
So, yeah. All right. So right now, what people actually don't realize is that the minute it starts off going back in the opposite direction, the whole tram immediately flips.
So this time it does it. It's just like it just
do that.
continues
Okay,
in the
that's
direction.
cool.
I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. And it's like, no, it's actually taking a new path. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about time. Yeah. All right.
I've seen that before.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
It's quite fun, actually.
Yeah, working as intended, I guess.
Working as intended.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, 5 days, 10 hours, 36
Next
minutes. You better get your wallets ready. It's going to be expensive. Load of shit.
A lot of shit.
A lot of shit to buy.
At least they won't charge us.
buy.
So view the stream.
No, I don't think that mistake will ever be made again.
That was a dumb idea.
Yeah.
And I can understand why they did it, but no, it's the digital pack is the way they should have went. I look forward to see what they come up with, the trophy and the other thing. What was the hologram?
Yeah.
We haven't actually seen them yet. So yeah, this is Peak Star Citizen next week, and hope you have your time off.
And then we'll have a roundtable right after the end of the day of Sunday.
Why not during?
That's right. Yeah.
Either I think it's after.
No,
Of course, it's
roll.
after. Yeah.
No, ours is after. No, we're not going to change. Other people are going to live stream it. Yeah, we'll have a watch party here.
We'll just sit here. We're not going to stream.
Yeah, that's all we ever do. We just sit here, insult everybody,
comment on the dumb things.
Yeah,
probably with AGI,
and complain about how I spent so much money
on CCUs.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to be more disciplined. I am more disciplined because I do buy the usual $5 CCU to the new ships. I stopped buying the new ships outright altogether. So
yeah.
As I buy the new ship totally. Anyway, we'll see what comes up.
No,
I'll buy the skins, the armor, the guns if they come out. But anyway.
And then we'll see everybody next week on the roundtable, post-CitizenCon roundtable.
Post-CitizenCon, yep. So have a good time. Have a happy CitizenCon.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
Yay! So see you next week. Bye-bye.
I support the monkeys. Do you? Check out The Base. 24/7 online radio. Oh, yeah! Visit us at TheBase.sc. They're professionals.